Hello guys, what's up? How you doing? My name is Kevin Bless and welcome to my tutorial on frame relay. On today's tutorial I shall be showing you how to configure frame relay using multipoint. Here is the topology. This is our hub router and these are the spore router. So we need to configure this topology in such a way that this router arrow will be able to communicate with arrow 2, 3, 4 and 5. Here are the different DSCI. DSCI 102 is connecting to R2, 103 is connecting to R3, 104 is connected to R4, 105, R5. And here is our address, which is slash 29 address 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 routers. We need a slash 29 address. Because the very first thing about multipoint is that all the devices need to be on the same subnet. So since we are having 5 devices, we need a slash 29, because with a slash 29 address we can have at most 6 visible addresses. So then how do we configure our frame relay using multipoint? First, using multipoint, I'm going to show you how to configure this with the sub interfaces, what I like best. So you go to your router, take enable config t, go to your fast serial interface 880/0. Now on this interface we won't assign, this is a physical interface, so we won't have to assign any IP address on this physical interface. Very first thing to do when you arrive at the physical interface, first you need to enable the encapsulation, which is frame relay. Now you need to set the interface up. Do your no shutdown command to set up the interface. Wow, once the interface is up, now you need to exit from that interface now to create your sub interface. You do exit, just like the point to point I showed you. To create a sub interface, you have to interface serial 0/0. Now you move to this your hub router. You see it has 4 1 2 3 4 DSI, and now you choose from any of the DSI that you will use in creating your sub interface. With multiple, it doesn't matter if you are using the DSL 102, 104, 105 or 103. 6 is on the same router. So for this tutorial we shall use the DSI 102. Do .1.102. Now just putting serial interface .102 won't create the sub interface, because the router doesn't understand which type of frame relay you are trying to do. Is it a point to point or a multi-point? So when you arrive at this level, now you need to specify that you want to do a multi-point. If it's a point to point, you just do point to point, but now we are doing multi-point. We need to specify that we are doing a multi-point. So you have multi-point. Wow, our sub interface is created. You see, now we are no more on the physical interface config if, but now we are in the sub interface. So at this level we have assign our IP address. Give IP address 192.168.2 was it .0/2/29. So we start here with .1, give this man .2, .3, .4 like the router names. 192.168.2.1, 255.255.255.248. I hope you guys know why we are putting a .248, because it's a /29. If you don't know how to do VLSM, just need to comment on this video and I shall prepare another video on subnetting VLSM for you. So once you do that, now you need to map your addresses with your DSCI. So you have to do frame map IP. Now with the point to point, what we did was, at this level we didn't map but the IP address, we're mapping by the DSCI. But with multipoint we need to map the destination IP address with the DSCI of the host router, that's the source router. So in this case we do a frame map IP 192.168.2.2. that's the address of router 2. Now the DSCI, the source DSCI of that router is DSCI 102, because DSCI 102 is a DSCI that is linking router 1 to router 2. So you have your DSCI 102. Go to the next, do your frame map 102 to on router 3, 103 and the SCI is 103. Same on router 4, the SCI 104. And on our last router 5, you do your DSI 105. That's that for that router. Now we move to router 2. On router 2, the configuration will be pretty the same. First, enable your config T, go to your serial interface. Nothing, just encapsulate your frame relay and you send your interface up. No short. Now you exit to create your sub interface. Interface SE0/0. Now with router 2, this is the only DSL which is connecting router 2 to router 1. So we'll have a dot 201 and it's a multi-point. Have multi-point. Now you give it an IP address 192.168.2.2 and the subnet was 255.255.255.248. Now you same thing, you do your frame map IP 192.168.1.1 because it is the destination IP address with the source DSI 201. That's all for router 2. Now you move to router 3. Same command, nothing changed. Enable config T, interface SE0/0. Do your encapsulation frame relay on that interface. Now you do your no short. You exit and create a sub interface. Interface SE0/0.103 and it's a multi-point. Use an IP address 192.168.2.3, 255.255.255.248. Do your frame map IP 192.168.2.1 destination IP address with the source DSI. That's all for that guy. Now you move here, same thing guys, no change. Enable config T, interface SE0/0. Your encapsulation frame relay. You are no short. Exit and create a sub interface. Exit interface SE0/0.401 and it's a multi-point. Enter. Now I give it an IP address 192.168.2.4, 255.255.255.248. We have frame map IP 192.168.2.1 destination and source DSCI. That's all for that guy. Now we move to our last router. Same procedure. Enable config T, interface SE0/0. Enable our encapsulation frame relay. Set up our interface. Exit and create our sub interface. Our interface SE0/0.501 and it's a multi-point. Assign our IP address 192.168.2.5, 255.255.255.248. Now we do our frame map IP, destination IP 2.1, source DSCI 501. Now remember that if you had to configure something like a routing protocol like OSPF, when you arrive at this thing at this point you have to do a broadcast, because if you don't do a broadcast, have to do a broadcast, because if you don't do a broadcast you won't be able to configure OSPF. You will configure OSPF, but OSPF won't be able to see its neighbors. So just keep that in mind. Since I'm not configuring any routing protocol here, I'm not going to do this, but when I shall be talking on routing protocol and then using cloud when configuring routing protocol, I shall definitely pass through this again. So just put in mind that if you have to configure OSPF on this your router, you need to enable that broadcast. So we have just assigned our IP addresses, but you see this router can't communicate with this one because we haven't configured our cloud. So the next step in this tutorial is configuring this our cloud, and we need to be pretty careful in this configuration. So when you come here, you go to Syria 00, Syria 0. Now you need to put in the DSI. We have DSI 102, which is connecting router 1 to router 2. We add DSI 103 connecting router 1 to router 3. We add DSI 104 connecting router 1 to router 4. Add and DSI 105 connecting router 1 to router 5. We add. Now move to Syria 1. Syria 1 will have 201 connecting router 2 to router 1. Move to Syria 2, have 301 disconnecting router 3 to router 1. You add, move to DSI Syria 3, it's 401, which is connecting router 4 to router 1. You add, and the last DSI 501, 501, which is connecting router R5 to R1, and we add. Now we have assigned our DSI. Now let's create our route in our frame relay. On Syria 0 have R1 to R2, and R2 is connected via Syria 1. So we move to Syria 1, which is R2 to R1. We add Syria 0, R1 to R3, and R3 is connecting via Syria 2. So you come here, Syria 2 is R3 to R1. Add. Next, R1 to R4. R4 is connecting via Syria 3, and Syria 3 will have R4 to R1. Add. R1 to R5, same thing, Syria 4, R4 to R5. You add. When this is done, this should be able to communicate between each other. No, not between each other, but the hub router should be able to communicate with its spoke routers. So let's do some packet sending this way to this man. Successful. This man to this man, it is successful, and this man to this man, successful, and the last one, successful. Oh, what happened to this guy? Let's see. Wow. So let's go back and try to troubleshoot and see where the problem is coming from. On Syria, we'll have Syria 201 from R2 to R1, and let me see, Syria 2 to 1. So let me come here and show. I have to end this conf, see where we went wrong. End. So let's move back to this configuration and see. First we need to do our end. Now let's do the show frame map IP, frame map Syria 0/0.21. The sub interface is up. Destination IP address with the source TSI. That one is okay. Same thing here. Let's see. And show frame map of DSI SI 102, we have IP address dot two, the source SI 102. Then it should work. Let's try our packet again. Oh yeah, wow, it's successful. This one, it is successful. This man is successful, and this man is successful. So that means you just need some time to load the configuration. Nothing happened. So guys, this is as easy as this. Is just how we configure our multi-point frame relay using multi-point and sub interfaces and all I know. First thing you need to know that when configuring your frame relay, they need to be on the same sub interface. On my next tutorial, I shall be showing you how to do something like this. Something like this. Wow, connecting two clouds. Connecting two clouds. This will be pretty awesome. Now you need to put in mind that with this man is able to communicate with this and this, but this man can't communicate with this because they are not directly connected. For them and you discover that if you put attach an end device here, they won't be able to communicate here because we just configure the cloud so that this whole router should be able to communicate with its spoke router, but for them to for devices to cross across this network, you need to configure a routing protocol. So that's that. Don't forget to comment and subscribe for my upcoming videos. Then if you have any problem, don't forget to let me know. Now if you have a problem with VLSM, just comment and I shall prepare one tutorial just on VLSM, in fact just on subnetting, because some people have been asking. I'm just link slash 23020. We don't know how that came about, so I just consider that some those who are watching this video already know something about networks. That's why I didn't go in. But if you are new in networking and you are really interested, just let me know so I can do video on VLSM and basic, even in network configuration using packet tracer. See you guys in my next video. Thank you.